Yo, we back at you live, Godspeed TV. Today we're going to talk about Pooh Shiesty shooting in the club under the Kabbalah Act, under Gematria. Before we get started, we're going to step into some Godspeed Hood X tunes by Kabbalah. Animality, full version.
Psychopath. It wouldn't be wrong if you conjured images of predatory killers, axe-wielding maniacs, or the infamous Hannibal Lecter upon hearing the word. I'll help you catch him. The psychopath holds a special place in our society because of our fascination with the dark side of humanity. But most psychopaths don't fit the stereotype.
You're going to run into one of these individuals sometime in your life, more than once, and the encounter could either be exhilarating, thrilling, exciting, or devastating. More likely the latter.
Psychopaths are not disordered. They don't suffer from a deficit, but they're simply different.
Look, I'm tired of talking. I'm multiplying like a math professor. I'm building walls in my crib so I can stash the cheddar. Red necktie, guy bodies, and blast berettas. I'm time traveling. My avatar gon' last forever. Spending corners, multiplying, and we contemplate throwing ourselves in the direction of this paper chasing. Ain't no point getting money, ain't no time in wasting. Don't test my motherfucking patience. 2001, the game was fucking wide open. There was a lot of game going down. I was scoping. I was nervous on the bench like a nigga frozen, waiting for a chance to get chosen. 2005, I'm getting money and I'm smoking. I beat the game and didn't have to put the code in. I'm out of space with my flow like I'm Vulcan. Captain Kirk on the Enterprise, but I'm smoking.
Psychopaths don't act or look crazy. They're not mentally ill. In fact, they're masters at appearing normal. Their main defect, what psychologists call severe emotional detachment, is harder to diagnose than schizophrenia or bipolar disorder. They don't feel emotion, but act as if they do.
Now go ahead, say night, catching some Z's. My words here be ice like you will actually freeze. Raw speaking, soft kittens trying to act like they G's. Raw dog, I hit the rhythm, never catch a disease. I kill clans and pound posses, cocky as Anunnaki, supreme Elohim. Popping up with body shots, Rockies, the road to position. And nowadays, the skinny jeans fit a stick shifting, taking pole position. I'm a lane apart with a classy chassis and a souped up brain and heart. Diesel is being a main apart. These rappers booty, so they language arts are painted parts. I spit that turpentine straight from the grill, but it ain't burger time. Shooting your nervous mind with zany bars. Snakes in the garden, get stepped on, serpent wine. To all you new dudes, excuse you. Acting like you been on BET, fool. You barely on YouTube. Who knew? You flew, stuck on stupid like the beginning of an SVU episode. Clueless. I'm on one like the anagram of Neo. Cause Smith ruthless. Your reality bites, mine toothless. The shocker to my rufus, so my chakras stay ruthless. Stocky like I'm chewing blue chips. Talking money like true lips in your ear with a flaming Q-tip. True spit, I do this. Document the badness, Dr. Loomis. A beady head Luigi, Mario, you shrooming.
You're kind of surprised because you have the feeling that they think and feel the way we do. And they're going to respond to their situation much the way we do, and they're going to be empathetic and loving and warm and honest and full of integrity. And this often doesn't happen.
Yo, this your boy Pomatic. Back at you live tonight with Godspeed TV. Tonight we're going to talk about Gematria, Pooh Shiesty, the shooting in the nightclub King of Diamonds, and what do it mean? And when I'm coming from a Kabbalah standpoint, I'm talking about just imagine if you knew Arabic Kabbalah, the letter, the value of each number, words, system, and you had the ability to take all of that with your thinking, unlike being handicapped by the bastard language, which is American language is a bastard language, and able to know that quickly, which we call Gematria or Kabbalah 2.0, Kabbalah. So tonight we're going to talk about Pooh Shiesty. And when we break it down in Kabbalah, we're talking about his DNA, everything that go into him, everything that go into making him. Like if I put your DNA on the magnifying glass, or I want to put it on the screen, I want to see what do all this mean? What story is this telling? And that's what Kabbalah and Gematria do. It tells you the story of the DNA of a person, everything that goes into making him. Now, a lot of people have when they put their name in, and they have like what we would call negative words or negative connotations. And don't take that so bad, because that's not you, but that's your potential. And the reason the negative connotations might say super selfish or something like that in there is because that's what the alien have imprinted into your DNA over the phantom matrix, which is Saturn. And we're going to talk about that. And what I'm going to link Saturn, phantom matrix, into Pooh Shiesty shooting at the club. And that's the matrix we're dealing with today, is a Saturn phantom matrix. You know, the earth is the earth. So what I mean by that is, you see this chaos, destruction, murder, chaos everywhere on news, on apps, on everything. And you think, damn, the world is bad. But every time you go outside, the birds chirping, the wind blowing, you connected to earth, not the phantom earth, not the Saturn earth, not the matrix. That's the matrix. Drill music is a creation of a Saturn phantom matrix, or Saturn matrix. Drill is a technology of Saturn matrix, drill music. And if you can step outside of the matrix, which we call the matrix, but today we're going to call it a Saturn matrix, because there's two matrices. It's the natural matrix, and then there's the Saturn matrix, the phantom matrix. Drill music, the creation of Chicago, Chirac, you know, the idea that if you live here, you already know how it go. You locked in, you know what I'm saying, under the ideology of drill. And to step outside of the phantom matrix, meaning is you trying to wake up, you're trying to evolve, you're trying to look at see things a different way. So tonight we're going to talk about Pooh Shiesty and Gematria. And as I'm doing Gematria, the Kabbalah, I'm trying to teach you how to think in hieroglyphs. So tonight's show is about hieroglyphs. And pardon me for stating Saturn matrix too soon. I just had to get that out before I forgot. But we're going to call the matrix the Saturn matrix or Earth matrix. Earth is pure, you know, what you do behind closed doors under the God body, meaning is the miracles. Saturn is, I got to get out there and get it, or I ain't going to eat, which is a fear. But to think in hieroglyphs. Everybody say, well, what do you mean by thinking in hieroglyphs? The Gematria, when you read it, you're breaking down people's DNA or circumstances or situations. And when I read it, everything that I'm reading is going into why he shot, how he shot, what mind frame he was at, everything up until that point of what he did. And when you can see as wholes, it's different than seeing the singles. You know what I'm saying? I see as a whole, Blau might see as a whole, and then we break the whole down to separations. Versus you taught in separations, trying to see it as a whole. That's the complication right there. That's a Saturn technology, you know, school systems. So tonight we're going to get into Pooh Shiesty shooting at the club. And for some of y'all, I put the link in there so you can click on the link. You're going to be right there with me reading it. And I'm going to try not to give much of my interpretation, but I'm going to give my interpretation just so you can understand how to see in hieroglyphs and read DNA and what's been put into the DNA and how the DNA been tampered with. And how certain things you might not like about what's in your DNA, you can change it by altering yourself to the more positive side of these phrases, words, letters, synergies, and energies. Because each letter is an energy. And then you put another letter, you got a little bit more of an energy. And then you put a group of letters together, it's a synergy. Then you put a paragraph together, it's a movie, it's a picture. So the more words you put in, the bigger the picture can get. You see what I'm saying? The less you put in, the simpler the picture. It's going to dissect it down to its minute Kabbalah or Kabbalah. You know what I'm saying? So here we got, what is Pooh Shiesty shooting in the nightclub? That's what I type in Gematria. Okay. First thing we got, damn are those who have betrayed and oppressed Christ. Okay, that's, you know, you take that for what it's worth. You know me so well. He who uses another work. He who uses another's work. You know what I'm saying? What they call it backdooring. When in his rap, how he's, you know, him and his buddy went to go steal something. And then when he got the goods, he did the camera and shot him in the back of his head and dipped. He's just, you know, analogies that go into that. I'll hunt you down and heal you. Okay. The dead and false prophet, Jesus suffered extreme pain in hell. I am very, very queer. Okay, that can refer to the transvestite situation he got into. For who that have known mind of the Lord. Historical Jesus was Pharaoh's Cleopatra, basically. Do not love and forgive Christianity. Sometimes it is useful to struggle because it helps to think again. All Chinese medicine believers ready for your lake of fire. Now, I don't know if you know about it, but we coming with the ring of fire, which is Saturn re-upping its technical ideology or matrix on our ass. And if you step outside that matrix, then you're going to become more as powerful as it. Roland Keener, September 16th, 1966. Now, what I do is I Google a lot of this stuff to see where it goes into. And if we go into that, that is the last time I Googled it, he was something like a scientist or something. And you might say, what do a German scientist got to do with Pooh Shiesty? Well, I know you all heard of Tavistock Institute or Paperclip or social engineering. You already, you know what I'm talking about? Okay, we're going to keep going. Mini wheats are so hot right now. Was he finna get a mini wheat deal? You know what I'm saying? Mini wheats. So he must like mini wheats. Drew Peterson, latest news. I got my degree from the University of Africa, the School of Hard Knocks. Damn, Andrew Bruce, you are quite the flamer. Winter storm, Jupiter, Oregon. Singularity is 7 moves, 7 deadly sins. Ronald Randazzo was murdered. Stephen James DeSign leading millions of people to hell. Now, Stephen James DeSign is an architect of a demon that lives through, that jumps in from body to body. We'll consider that word Azazel, because you'll see a lot of that in the cat's charts too. You are Christ's vehicle. Well, you were Christ's vehicle. So you got to remember, Pooh Shiesty didn't always come out natural earth, natural Pooh Shiesty. When he was born, he's not Pooh Shiesty. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these brothers are of God and was from God. You know what I'm saying? Okay, we go. Black Girl Magic gives you S hurdles sweep. Now I can do that. Black Girls Magic give you S hurdle sweeps. That's what you call black magic, or the black, the witches. The witches give you hurdles to sweep over. Warrior Palladian of Jesus Christ. The Sean and Moranas are fighting to be Christ, but not fighting for Christ. Titan will be turned into dust by a comet. 1111 wake up call. Building monster homes with laundered money. So okay. Building monster homes with laundered money. I mean, we can imagine what that go into. Give up on being May 10th, MMXV. The burning garbage dump of Gehenna is located at the Galactic Center in astrology. Johnny Depp's a Satanist that defends children murderers. John Wingate Weeks reverse engineer the Matrix to get humans out. Humans, like if you got a PCP, not PCP or MPC, a lot of brothers are on MPC time. And what I mean, do that to get humans out, is a lot of people being controlled by humans in the video game. Those are people who can learn and, live in real time. The MPC don't live in real time. It's a program generated from Saturn's square at the bottom. I have found my father, I won't die. Always remember the cards you sent me. Now, before I had shared this with y'all, he keeps still having stuff about cars. And when I seen, I looked up a German scientist who was part of Hallmark. So it's a lot about these little love cars. I don't know if Haile Cyrus sending this nigga cars or what's going on. But as I keep going, why did I create the universe? Isuzu Cross is going to destroy non-European Europe. Old Donald Trump direct code message to pirates. Thank you to the incredible people at Walter Reed. Biggest tax cut ever. Another one coming vote. Lithium, I don't know that word. The name of the distressed worthy brother is learn from the past, create the future you like. Being asleep is an inferior triangular idea and is not free. Blessed are the dead which die in the Lord from hereof, however you say it. Now, we're going to start right there. I'm going to go into this word right here where it says, fooled by the illusions of Saturn's matrix. Under the Pooh Shiesty shooting at the nightclub. Okay. Now, what I do is we're gonna just dig into that, because all of this I'm reading sound like words, but when you Google it and go into deeper dimensions, it's going to take you to a rabbit hole you've never been before. But right now, we're going to stop. We're going to start right there. Okay, now, going to go back to fooled by the illusions of Saturn matrix. Now, we're just going to stop right there. Let's go into that. Okay, now, I Googled that, and this is what came up. Saturn, the all-seeing eye. This isn't Pooh Shiesty shooting at the club DNA picture. Saturn was often symbolized as an eye by the ancients. That is likely origin of all CNI, one of the major symbols of the reptilian hybrid bloodline network. I went to the subway, Saturn hacked into the waveform information broadcast from the center of the galaxy via the sun. It got in front of the sun and broadcast fake realities into the solar system. Drill music. The moon amplifies this and beams it specifically at the Earth. The fantastic synchronicities between the moon, the sun, and its size geometry. That's when he said the triangular. Remember, I read the triangular system that they got. That's what I was. Let me see if I can find that. Well, right, the triangular. That's the triangle. So, and you remember Black Girl Magic. Well, let me go back to where we was at. Okay. Okay, the moon amplifies a bit. Okay, the fantastic synchronicities between the Earth, the moon, and the sun in size, geometry, and position are all made possible by the moon. These synchronicities are connected to how the sun information is hacked by Saturn and the moon. The moon is where it is because it was specifically placed there. Visible light in the electromagnetic spectrum that science can record is the matrix, the false reality. The God said, let there be light. The speed of light, which we are told is fastest speed possible. Rubbish. It is the vibrational wall of the matrix. It's faster than the speed of light. That's what concrete objects under the eighth sphere make you think things are real. Now, the reason they're saying this is they done put Pooh Shiesty in a false phantom matrix. And you wonder why these guys do these things to themselves or how they find themselves in these situations. And when you've been encoded it and printed over years and eons up into your DNA, this is, from what I read in Gematria, this is what you is. You can't get away from it unless you step outside of the phantom matrix and go to the earth matrix, which is natural law, God, law, natural reality, love, live, and light. So, okay, we are not even living on earth. The earth is as if, okay, we are not even living on earth as if it really is. Some of it is original, but there are many holographic implants that change it into our perception. The matrix broadcast blocks humans from perceiving that which otherwise will be experiencing. The earth that we can't see or feel too often is a place of love and harmony, not war, fear, and suffering. The predators dictate our lives and make us into slaves to them by hijacking our sense of reality. The Saturn moon matrix transferred a once vibrant, conscious humanity into a computer program decoding cycles of repetitive perception and behavior. The transmission of the Saturn moon matrix are received and the retransmission by the Earth crystal core, which has been turned into the matrix frequency range, and the hack connects with us through the reptilian brain, which is your, in the back of your head, the lower self, and the receivers transmit a system that we would call DNA. So this is what I'm reading, the thing that they put into Pooh Shiesty DNA. I want to look into what the aliens put into his DNA, and this is one of the things I'm coming up with when we got the word fooled by the illusions of Saturn's matrix. Now, see how simple that sounds, but when you go deep into it, it's telling you some whole other shit about how that nigga do what he doing, why he is the way he is. Okay. So from saying that, now what I've come to realize is that it's hard for these rappers to come up out of that because now it's a loop and feedback, and they have tightened the gap. Saturn has tightened the gap between loop and feedback, meaning these are test runs. Put him in this situation. You want to know how he got all this money going up in his career, but find himself in the worst possible scenario. And even if you look on the picture, it looked like he got the snake clothes on, and then they got the symbols in back of him. You already see what's going on. He can't get out of it, especially with the Titan loop, 5G technology, and the ring of fire that's coming. They ain't gonna be able to get out of it. You know what I'm saying? It's destined for them. It's all part of their DNA, unless they just try to turn the world for a loop like Young Chopper did. But then the Reptilian is like, nah, nigga, if you do that, well, I gotta pay this condo, these bills. So let me go back to the Saturn matrix and get back down. You know what I'm saying? So let me see. Okay. What we see in our DNA is a program consisting of two versions, a big code and a basic code. First fact is the complete program was positively not written on Earth. That is now a verified fact. The second fact is that genes by themselves are not enough to explain evolution. There must be something more to the game. Sooner or later, we have to come with grips that the unbelievable notion that everything on Earth carries a genetic code for his extraterrestrial cousin, Saturn Phantom Matrix, and that evolution is not what we think it is. Our hypothesis is that a higher extraterrestrial life was engaged in creating new life and planting it on various planets. Earth is just one of them. Perhaps after programming our creators grow us the same way we grow bacteria in a petri dish. Now, the scientists are coming to the conclusion that there are stuff going on in our DNA that is not natural to the Earth. You see what I'm saying? And that the fact that what they're doing is trying to line the DNA up matchly for purposes like this. You got Saturn frequency kicking in with the Phantom Matrix, and then you got the DNA code with that tampering connecting with the Saturn frequency, and you got a lock and hold of Pooh Shiesty getting money at the top of his career that all of a sudden he shoots somebody and now he ain't getting out till he get out type shit. That's how it look. You know what I'm saying? Now, another aspect that came up in this system was, we're going to call it hydrocortisone, but hydrocortisone is a demon. And in this demon, what it does is it chips away at you. It chips away at you stubbornly. It chips away at you. You know what I'm saying? And then what it does is when you talk to a motherfucker draining you or hanging with draining people, what it's doing is killing the inside of you, killing you from the inside out. And that's the same thing they did with Jesus. They killed him from the inside out. They made him think like, oh my God, the world is, oh man, it ain't no hope. Oh my man, forget this. What is it worth? But you don't know the demon is dumb as hell and it's persistent. That's the only power it got. Like I say, I'm gonna read that. I'm gonna play. Hold on, let me take a little break. I'm gonna play some more. My man. I'll be back in a second. We talking about the mind of Pooh Shiesty.
For no regular niggas. I'm taking their money like women be taking their pictures. I just got an Instagram, I'm not switching my image. No, Smith is too ruthless. I came in this game with the crown. I was snapping so vicious that niggas was grabbing they bitches. Remind you, I'm not where you from. I'm surviving the purge. I did it with words. Iraq is the place where all of the grinding occurs. But my bitch come from the burbs. I think so strategic. They stealing my secrets. The flow that I spit that you paraplegic. I pledge my allegiance to feasting and beaching on all of these beats. My niggas be sleep. The game is rigged. You can buy your way in. The flow that I'm spitting, they don't want you to hear that shit. Cause if you hear it, you will never listen to that bullshit ever again. I don't wonder why people getting dumb and it's like 500 killings every summer and you worry about stunting when you should be wondering when the government coming and they leave you with nothing till they running and bucking and gunning all up in your grid. Executive orders to slaughter your daughters and kids. You're supposed to make change. You giving me quarters like it is what it is. We both from Chirac, can't recognize game. I know what this is, you know what this is. In wintertime, it's dinner time. We really gon' grind like it still is a crime. My bitch got curves, but she still is a dime. I should run for president across the finish line. Now all of these demons just screaming my name cause I'm breaking their backs and I leave them in pain. I just need one reason. Brutality season, I gave you a ton, now I'm making it rain.
Now we're gonna go into the chapter of why Pooh Shiesty is the way he is. We're gonna go to is what happens to these cats when they sign their soul over or sign a record deal. And it's called, what me and Blau came up with, hydrocortisone. That's what we're gonna call it, but it's chorazone, zone, something like that. But it's a demon. We're gonna call him Azazel. The fallen carnal nature of mankind has a correspondence with hydrocortisone or Azazel, one of whose function is catalyzed into inherent chaos within us. As a demoness, she is quick-tempered, typical of most demons, in fact, and passionate without self-control, and is thus known in some circles as an obscure gardener of bitterness. Delilah, Jezebel, when the soul refuses to forgive wrongdoing and carnal aspects of hate, bitterness take over. Hydrocortisone is there, invited in the transgression of the law of forgiveness which Christ taught. If there is bitterness or hatred in the soul, then it is good bet somewhere or to some degree Azazel is involved. Satan is the master at playing with our unseen fears, and hydrocortisone is his primary agent waiting to ambush from within. One of the peculiarities about hydrocortisone or Azazel, not yet particular when you consider that all demons are anti-lives, since they possess none of their own, must rob it from disobedient humans, is that she has no substance. She is an empty shell simulating life, as is a true of all counterfeit spiritual activity. Like a demon, Azazel tears apart inside and feeds off their life force, which leaks out rather like a damaged nuclear reactor, shooting bullets, making you leak, or what they call nose wipe. This spiritual bleeding leads to a kind of spiritual anemia, draining the soul of his will to live. If hydrocortisone had a motto, it would probably be, let my total will be done. Meaning this, niggas, I already signed your name over, let my total will be done. If not, you gonna be in jail or dead at the expense of your own, of course. Hydrocortisone was regarded as by Aleister Crowley as the first and the deadliest of all powers of evil. In the observation, he was probably right. As we shall see, hydrocortisone, also known by its archetypical forms as Nagakos, is notorious shapeshifter. She is the sole inhabitant of the abyss between Kether and Dot, D-A-A-T, in the Kabbalic system. Her force is a dynamic opposite of the force of occult magic, a kind of spiritual antimatter. In this respect, she is similar to Hakati, who, in the final act of destruction, which represents as a kind of state of nirvana, oneness, or the enlightenment, specially sucked up the soul like a vacuum into the darkness of nothingness. So, in saying that, let me see. This is what takes over these little cats' minds and bodies and soul. This is the entity that takes out, to take over their body. Cortisone very seldomly manifests physically. Hydrocortisone very seldomly manifests physically, preferring to possess people. It does this with great skill, making its victims think they are in perfect control over their own mind. When it does manifest, it will appear as a voice. Sometimes it will manifest using bodies and voices, giving the impression of great horde of demons. Attribute has no body. Perception on the fifth scale. Intelligence 1. Not that intelligence, which think they slick on the fifth scale. Ability is not useful in Earth. Acrococacane is the magic that it used. Spirits, Empo 3-5, Life 4-4-4. So, you know what I'm saying? 4-4-4-40-4-4. Agate willpower 1, quintessence 5. And what I'm reading to y'all is this powers level. It's almost like them little cars the shorties be getting. You know what I'm saying? And cortisone or Azazel initiates decay whenever it goes. This effect will make anything starts to dissolve into nothing. Most of the time, it uses this effect coincidentally, preferring to let the delusion take its time. Sometimes hydrocortisone dissolves quickly, often for no reason. The process is stubborn, but when initiated, it cannot be stopped except by more powerful magic. The delusion slowly spreads, turning matter into dust, which blows away and disappears, killing life and making people slowly go insane. So that's what Thanos did in the movie he was in. But we're gonna stop right there. So if ever y'all want to know about the spiritual possessions and what goes into Pooh Shiesty shooting somebody, we got this demon called hydrocortisone or chorazone zoron or Azazel, aka, and it's the feminine aspect in her deadliest form of nature, Shiva, or you know what I'm saying. So like I said, it's pomatic. It's been a blessing sharing this with you on Godspeed TV, and we're gonna end this with my boy Kabbalah.